Happy Wednesday, everybody, and welcome back to Factorio. Let's get a quick glance at what we were up to last time. We started on our main bus, or at least the first leg. Let's take a look at the actual map here. We came down to this little lake here, and we were waiting on some more landfill to sort of fill in the left side of this lake here so that we can continue our bus down. But this is the start of it, and I think that we should start populating it. Now, I think that what we want to do is go ahead and start with iron on our far left. Just a moment here to take a look. Yeah. Or maybe in the second slot, because I do have an example that I was looking at that I'd like to kind of follow here. Now, right now, our iron is just making its way down on this single conveyor belt. What we should probably do is optimize this with more drills up into our, I was going to say refineries, but our furnaces up here. And maybe even join these two outputs that we have, because right now one of them is sort of being wasted. Not really wasted so much as it's not being productive. It's backing all the way up over here to be steel production, and we're probably going to move this. This is very temporary. We'll actually grab most of this, and I think I will offload some extra that I have. Let's take a look at our science production. We have some junk in our inventory that we need to get rid of. We could do that in a few places. This is probably the very simple way to do it, but now that I'm looking at it, let's do it this way. Let's say, let's take the tail end of this, place down a inserter arm, and just place all of our junk ore into there. Once we have robots, that won't be necessary at all, but I just kind of wanted a place to offload some of this without being wasteful. We're not going to need to do that with all the coal and copper here. That's only 11, though we are really close to the copper. Let's say, is it Z? Yeah, let's just drop that. Wood, yeah, we'll also have a junk chest because I need to put these light armors somewhere. Yeah, we'll just stick with that. Let's take one of our wooden boxes that we've created here, and let's just remember that our junk chest is near the stone factory, just in case we need anything out of it. But if it's anything like the junk chests that I've created in the past, that's right, you can't stack guns, can you? Oh, you can. I don't know why you would ever need to do that, but okay. Yeah, if it's anything like the junk chests that I've made in the past, you never, ever really see them again. But there's all that wood. Okay. You know, that could be used for fuel later. We could, I don't know if you can burn it in a car anymore, but you used to be able to do that. Okay, our science, though. We never did create the redundant system here for the red science. Let's do that. And what I mean by redundant system is the placement into chests prior to going to the conveyor belt. Now, we don't need to do that for our own purposes because we never touch we never actually have to have the science in our own inventory, so we don't have to come pick any up. But we can go ahead and carry this down, curve it over, pick these up, and now we've got a bunch of stuff in our inventory that we could just drop into here. And let's do the same with green. But yeah, the service the solution service, I guess, that provides, no, those were not supposed to go on that side of the conveyor belt. The service that provides is that if we run out of resources, we'll still have a stockpile that will continue a little bit longer. You know, we dropped all of our wood up here, and now we can't make any more of those. Let's just take Let's just take 50 of those. We'll place them here. We'll have a stockpile in these boxes for when the actual production is backed up. We need the arms. Yes. There we go. That's the correct side of the conveyor belt. Looking good. Okay. Now that we've freed up some of our inventory, we have these solutions for the future as well. Okay. Back to the iron ore. We already placed down some of our mining drills, and we need to make some more. We have enough for one here. What are we short on? We're short on the actual iron plates, which we have a stockpile up here. Let's just grab them all. We will use those eventually anyway. And let's go ahead and start construction on many of these. We want to go ahead and complete. We want to go ahead and fill up this entire area. Did we discover any more iron while we were out and about? There's a little bit down here, down here. While the ones that we have are plentiful, they're kind of far and few between, aren't they? If we need more, we're going to need outposts. Just kind of looking at some of these other nests that have popped up around here. Nothing looks terrible yet, but some of them are in our pollution cloud. Starting to creep over here to the west, north. We may need to do something about that. And in true industrialist fashion, the something that we're going to do about that is not pollute less, of course not. No. We are going to probably wipe out our competition and enemies. We're not even capitalist, just industrialist. We will need a conveyor belt. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and say up through here. Ooh. And then over, combining with this splitter. Now, it's not currently being used at the rate that we can feed it, but it might once we actually start feeding all of this into the bus. So let's get our other drills on here. And some more electrical lines. We need to run one here. You know what, we have steel now. We can make our new electrical lines. Let's make some of those. And what do we determine remove something? And this was at middle click? Yes. So we're still making mining drills. Once we're done with those, then we can place them onto the quick bar. And we finished electric energy accumulators. Go ahead and start on robotics. I'm going to forget about most of these and have to rediscover when I think about, okay, what should we do next? Let's go ahead and turn this in. We may place some on the other side. We want to get every little bit. I guess one right here would help with that. And let's tear up that electrical line and build some more. This is going to need to come down through here, turn, and then go up. Our new electrical lines are still being produced. There we go. Now we can place them on our quick bar. Oh, you know what? These are the type that they don't reach further. No. They probably have longer electrical cables between each other, don't they? Yes, that's what kind those are. So we made a bunch of those, which is still good, But we actually need this type, the medium electric pole, which we can only make 7 of, and then we need some more copper. Let's go ahead and grab that copper. We have to wait for them to be constructed anyway, we might as well go ahead and grab the resource that we need. Oh yeah, let's just make a ton of those while we're waiting. Alright, now we will place those instead on our quick bar. In fact, let's place them down here. That way we have both types. And we're not really going to need the wooden ones anymore, unless we have a real tight spot that we need to squeeze something into, but I think they have the same footprint. Right? Same construction footprint, but much wider supply. We'll put one up here as well in a moment, and that'll connect them. Yeah, we'll be good right here. There we go. They're all producing. We're being attacked up here. They're not getting very far. They're just making it halfway across the land bridge. Those are still half stocked. We'll have to keep that in mind. We don't want to raid from the north. What does our ammo production look like? I know it's kind of slow. Well, geez, never mind. We will fill them up. And right now, this basic type of ammo is doing us just fine. I think there's a shortcut key that I could probably hit as a control click. Yeah. Yeah, let's just fill the turret up with walls. That'll work. Did I get them all? I think I did. And you know what? Put a chest up here. Made a little bit of extra ammo. So, looking back over here at the iron, we want to bring the iron down. We want to bring production from both down and then remake this little setup here. We could blueprint it, but we still have to manually create it by hand, and this is easy enough. Do we want to stop steel production? Well, we have plenty in our inventory and in our chest. Well, plenty. We have enough to work with for a limited amount of time. We have to immediately make that again down here. Let's not reroute it just yet. Wow, look at that wave. They're making it to the wall. Let's place some more turrets up here. And we left all the ammo. Of course we did. You know, I'm more worried about that top part though, so we will take half from each one of these, split the difference, put down, you need to be repaired, put down 2 more, there we go, repair that and the wall, and I almost feel like right here we should go ahead and just kind of double up on that wall, just in case they make it through. Make it through. Just in case they actually puncture one part. I don't think that the guns will allow that, but... Is that a wall piece? It is. Just kind of make that symmetrical there. There we go, okay. A little bit more protection here. Let's look at our map. They probably came straight across from over here. No need for vengeance yet. Where was I? Okay. So let's actually plan on bringing the iron plates straight down. It gets kind of tight right here. So maybe we want to actually bring them down to the left instead of to the right. We have some production here that we do bring iron plates over for ammo production. Let's split it, and if they get backed up after being able to produce more, that'll be great. Let's combine them and then split them. So here's my idea. So we're going to bring this over and up. This is going to come over and up. We're going to have a splitter, which I did put on my hotbar, but I'm somehow reliant on a muscle memory of opening my inventory for everything. So this will then come over. So what we do here then is utilize both. Okay, now on this, it was just bringing it to one side so that the coal could be added to it. We're going to want to split that off. Let's go ahead and make a few more of those. Here's what we want. We're going to want a splitter here. We're going to want to bring this straight-ish down. So instead of this, I'm also going to bring that up a little bit. That was a mighty sneeze. Okay. Bring this over. Get rid of these. Okay. Okay, so we leave like one right here so that it loads onto the correct side after the split. We'll watch that feed. There we go. And then what I'm thinking, there's no reason to tear this up, really. We have some underground belts. Let's bring that under. Down one, I guess, because we have our electrical lines here. And then down. So it's taking a bit of a roundabout path and being split up, but ideally we want to get it down to our bus and meet up right here on the second one. Come down around the stone. We'll eventually have faster belts, and we may double this one up as well. You know, let's actually come over as quickly as we can, so that we save all this space as well. We can come over here. We'll leave one space from the stone patch. Actually, not even that far over. We need to come down here. And we'll feed into a belt balancer. Now, belt balancers I've used before, but just to make sure I don't get anything screwed up, I'm going to pull up a diagram I have over here. Okay, so we need 6 splitters, 4 underground belts. We almost have everything we need. Some more splitters. And we will start here, because we'll feed some more into the top as well. But it starts with 2 splitters, 2 underground belts that are that far apart. And then at the bottom, we have 3 splitters. 1, 2, 3. And then in the middle, right here, we have 1. You know what? I've made this just a little longer than it needs to be. Yeah, it's like that. We've already got some loaded up. Okay. This is backwards. Probably could have just hit R. There we go. Now we put the belts on. So we do have belts that kind of come into the middle. This will be worth blueprinting later, but for now... You know what? Actually, I think we've also made this kind of upside down. I just want to make sure that we do it right. So, because I'm looking at a diagram where the flow goes up. So here's what we're going to do. Coming in, that's where we split 3 ways here. Then we go into underground belts with 3 spaces in between them. And then it gets split twice more at the end. We have a splitter in the middle. We have, oh hey, Logistics 2. There's our fast transport belts. So we bring the belts in, they get split here. Yeah, okay. Then down. So there's a healthy mix all the way across. We'll kind of see a pattern emerge, I'm sure. Yeah. So this is what a saturated belt, a single saturated belt would produce. But then once production catches up, yeah, here we can see we're only producing this quickly, maybe even slower. But I'm okay with it. Just kind of backing up on the belt. We balance this just a little bit with a splitter. You are missing an arm. I thought we fixed you already. Or did you get attacked? I thought we fixed you because you got attacked. Yeah, their belt's missing. Surely they didn't make their way in. Maybe that was earlier. Maybe we fixed one, but we didn't fix everything. Okay, let's put some more. How balanced is this? This could be better. Well, it's all being used. Like these are staying saturated, so this is fine for now. If we add more in, I'll probably put them over here on the left where these trees are, and then bring some more belts down. Okay, so next we want to make sure we're taking the excess from this belt. Or is it all being used? Where's it going? Yeah, it's all being used, right? Pretty much. I kind of feel like what we want to do here is still have this belt come down, because why not? We've already laid out this little elbow and there's no reason to just clean it all up just to move it over to the left right now. But what I'm thinking is, instead of having it feed these, just in case it gets choked somehow, we actually go ahead and pull off of the bus. We have it feed into the bus, and then pull off of the bus so that we make sure that we get what we can over to here. I don't know, it seems kind of sketchy. Let's try it though. So we'll actually have this come down. And then across. A little bit of space, a little bit of space. Feed into the belt balancer. Before I send that down, I'll go ahead and split off here for our first official split. I see them attacking. I think we're still good. And usually when we pull off like this, we want to go ahead and pull off like that. Getting some, we are getting some. We'll just go ahead and bring it up. We'll say that, you know, these may not even be permanent, but we'll say that this is where you get your actual iron, good sirs. So we'll have to watch it and make sure it's enough. These are going to pull off first. And normally these would each have their own path off of the bus. now that this is feeding in, it's going to start feeding into the bus here. We should start to see more. That and the bus is going to back up to the point where pretty much everything in excess is going to be making its way up here because this is the only outlet from the bus. I think we'll be okay. It may get choked for a moment, and then we'll be fine. We have plenty of science anyway. Kind of like watching everything back up like this. Okay, one of the other things that we will want on our bus is probably copper. We'll put copper in this third spot here. Right now we have it coming down and being fed into this area. We'll do the same thing that we did here. We'll bring the copper down this path, and you know what? We're definitely going to need more space. In fact, let's go ahead and force that. Okay, so we'll bring the copper down, and we may have more copper lines as well. In fact, I don't even know if I'll have them come up and over like that. They'll probably just come down and through. We have copper to mine here. This is getting it's a little messy, a little too close together. I don't like that, but again, it may not be a permanent solution. Let's go ahead and bring that over. And similarly, it'll feed into the belt balancer. Let's look at making a balancer blueprint. New blueprint. Escape. How do you... Is it B? New blueprint. There we go. That is a balancer blueprint. We're going to want one here. So we need to take out the belts all the way down to here. Take out one more road just so that it doesn't start just yet. And then the blueprint book. So we made the blueprint. Did it not save in the book? How do blueprints work? Maybe it didn't actually save yet because we haven't made... Try that again. Blueprint. The balancer. Right? We called it the balancer. Check. So we can place it as a ghost. Okay, so we can put it in the book. Put our book down here, I guess. Okay. I feel like you're supposed to have more in a book, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so now we have our blueprint here, which, again, will be much more handy once we have robots, because then they'll build for us wherever we place a ghost. Do we need any more underground? We do. 2 more splitters. 1, 2. Underground. 1, 2. Let's go ahead and place our belts. We need the other underground, but it's being constructed. Splitter goes here, the other underground goes here. You know, let's go ahead and place these. We know it'll work. And let's get the copper over here. Then we need to do something a little crafty here. I know I'm going to want to pull copper off and do the same thing we did for iron. So let's go ahead and do that here. Let's just come straight up, run alongside. I almost wonder if just one side of iron and one side of copper would be enough to feed this area, but we'll overdo it for now. So here's what I'm thinking. We go under here. There we go. So now we have a copper bus. It'll need to be balanced. Both the iron and the copper will need to be balanced because we pulled off after the balancer, but this is just a good idea of what that looks like, and the balancer is just a great way to feed in evenly into the top of the bus. So the next thing, we are going to want that iron to be produced nearby, and I think I want the iron here, but the iron production may happen over here, and I'm going to probably pull off of the iron plate, the left side of the iron plate bus, and have the steel, that's what I meant to say, steel produced over here, and then kind of carted back over to the bus, maybe up underneath these and into the top of the bus here. So right now, we have the coal going this way. We're going to need the coal. Let's say, where's the coal come in? The coal feeds both. The iron plates and the steel. I'm thinking that I want the coal here. We'll clean this up in a bit because we're not going to use this steel production for much longer. But we pull off, just so we don't interrupt it. Bring it over, we left a space. That's convenient. And then bring the coal down. Coal does not go on the bus because we don't use it forever, but we will need it down here to fuel our steel production. So coal's coming in. Let's make a vertical fed steel production. So let's say looking at kind of how we did the iron plates, we'll do this only upside down. And I know that we want to do our splitter the same way. We'll have iron plates come in one side, coal come in the other. Okay. The output is going to be steel plates. Now again though, I kind of want the steel plates to come up and across and load into the top of the bus over here. So maybe we actually bring the coal over and around and down, because we can, because we have a ton of belts. But okay. So we will want the output to come up here. This is going to come down and get split off into two, feeding up. Just kind of eyeballing this. I want to give the bus probably some space here, so this is where it's going to feed from. I don't yet know how many I want making the steel. We probably don't want a whole lot just yet, but we have unlimited space downward, so let's just make excess space. They really are attacking up here, aren't they? No, they're just coming in single file. Okay. Okay, so the way that this spaces out, let's go ahead and place some. We know that we'll need arms offloading onto the conveyor belt. We are probably going to use our steel furnaces. Do we have any left? We don't. I didn't see any. Okay. Steel here. And then actually these go this direction. And then they feed onto a central output coming up and out. And this is going to make its way into this fourth section here. We only want 2 of those rows to be steel. Steel doesn't get used nearly at the same speed as iron and copper. So let's replicate that on this side. Let's put these down here. Feeding in and up. Okay. So here's how I see this. We will need to feed in from the top and bottom. Or side to side. Maybe we just do side to side. No, top and bottom. Top and bottom. The coal and iron plates. Does that seem... Yeah, that seems even. It just feels off because the splitters have to be double-sided here. So we want to do the same thing twice at some point, but we'll start with just the one. So we'll go ahead and bring the coal, turn it around, coal down and over. Coal will be fed in here. Bring these all the way up. Then we need to feed iron in, which we need to put underground here. And we'll belt in at least one. We'll take it right off of the bus here. There we go. Do I ever want those robots, man? We'll start with just these for now. In, out, 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 out. Other side, out. In, out, out. In, out. And we have our new power poles, so we can power much more with just a couple. In fact, we should only need 4 for this so far. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, and we don't have any electricity nearby, so we'll go ahead and use some of our long distance towers. railway. That'll be nice to have, especially when we actually have to start reaching out much farther for resources. Let's pop that in. Bring one over here. There we go. These should start producing. We'll go underneath here. Use another underground here. And for this, we'll just bring this in. Use a single splitter. Because I just want to load the left side. The other two on this column will be for plastic when we start producing that. We're just setting up the basics for our bus here. We may want to produce faster. Let's go ahead and make... How many do we have up here? In fact, we can shut this one down now. We have 5 of the old style here. Let's tear this up. Hope we can hold everything. Oh, that is nice that it picked the steel up off the ground. Let's go ahead and clean this up. We're gonna have a lot of coal in our inventory after this. So there we go. It's interesting, there does seem to be it's not a perfect saturated belt for the coal. We do still seem to be producing what we need, so I'm cool with it. Let's do the same thing down here that we did earlier. Let's put a box in. Coal is something I don't really feel like wasting. How is our electricity looking? Not great. In fact, everything's probably moving slowly. Let's look at upgrading that again. So this is expandable. Let's move this over. And let's make one of each again. We need the boiler, 3 steam engines. I think it was 2 pipes. Still have some burner inserters, we're good. One, two, three. 2 pipes. Powered inserter, burner inserter, and let's get some new power poles in here. It'll power both sides. Now how do we look? We honestly probably need another set already, because as we expand we're only going to meet the same issue. Okay, we have an issue here with these power poles. Let's put a long one in. There we go. Let's go ahead and make another set. This is really gonna increase our pollution. So that's something that we're going to have to keep in mind. Boiler. It's the end of the line on this side. Pipe. I need to look up the efficiencies. I've been putting 3, but for all I know, it could be 5. Kind of bugs me that that's off just a little bit from the one above it. There we go. Alright, we're producing twice as much power as we need. That's where a lot of our pollution's coming from. Alright though. Looking good up here. Let's head back down to our steel production and check on that, see how... Oh wait, yeah, we cleaned up here. We wanted to make some more steel furnaces. At least I wanted to have probably another 10. We need stone blocks. A bunch over here. Let's take a stack. We took 2 stacks. But by the time we're done with this construction, we will only have 1 stack. You know what? Let's open that up a little bit. Let's let you go to 4. You never know. We may need a lot more in the future. Now we have trains. Automated rail transportation is next. Five on each side. And let's get some power in here. There we are. That'll double production. Hopefully the coal and iron plates can keep up with that. So this is already getting... Maybe we're only seeing this gapping because we're feeding in from over here. That makes sense. Gotcha. There we go. Do we have steel lining up? We do. Let's go check on our landfill production, which I believe we had over here near the rocks. Yes. It's been working away. Very slowly producing earth. Look how he runs. Let's fill in some of this. We know we need to come at least this far over. Let's bring this down. Cool. Something tells me we're gonna get almost done and not have enough, aren't we? No, we got it. Alright, so that's all filled in. How does this look? Now they still haven't damaged the wall now that we have a new gun up here. I kind of wonder how much ammo. 38, 57, 56. Okay. So we also need green chip manufacture for the left side of our bus. Now for that, I may want to look up an example of the best layout for that, because we have one up here making them at whatever speed I'm feeding copper cable in order to create the inserters. In fact, it's just going at its own speed. We could do the math in our heads, really. 3 copper cables for every iron plate. But, let's see, electronic circuits. Let's see if we can find a good model layout for electronic circuits. Yeah, I kind of like what I'm seeing here. It brings in copper and iron. Okay. So for this, we'll want to make it probably along the left-hand side over here so that it can feed onto the bus. We may not need most of this because I kind of foresee it feeding on right here. Probably right about this point. So we may actually clean this up in a bit. But what I'm seeing here is we want 2 lines of iron plates and 2 lines of copper plates to come off. So maybe we take them from 2 splits, because we've already pulled off of the left and right hand sides. Rail signals, sure. Here's what I'm thinking. We take 2 splitters here, pull one off, actually bring this down. One down and over. The other underground. Nah, the other way. How's this working? Hold on. In, out. You need to be an out. Why do you want to be on that side? So strange. Then back to splitters, but we're definitely going to need another balancing after that. Then we have 2 more underground here. Actually, if we even need that, I don't think we even need that. And since we used underground here, we may actually want to bring this down. Let's bring these undergrounds as far as they'll actually reach. There we go. And we'll do the same thing to pull off of copper from right here. This will come off. There we go. Couple splitters here. Couple here. You come over. You come down and over. And you down to here. Down to here. There we go. All right. 4 wide, coming in over here. Let's give enough room to give our bus some space. All right, so the plan for this would have copper being fed from the outside in, and then the iron plates down from the top. The only thing I'm worried about is spacing this well, so it looks like there is 1 line of copper plates can go ahead and come straight down, for what I'm seeing. And we will need 6, 12. This has 12 assembly machine 2s and 12 assembly machine 1s. I think I'll just go ahead and use 24 assembly machine 2s. May not be the most efficient on power, but that's what I'll go ahead and get started. Okay. So just to make sure that I space this out well, though. Inserters, which we only have 4 of. Let's go pick up some. Inserters pull the copper off into assembly machine 2s that produce copper cables on the outsides, feeding into more assembly machines that then produce the electronic circuits on the inside, and then they all load onto a center belt. Here they are. I actually did not mean to grab all of those. Let's just grab a bunch, but not that many. Okay. So these are spaced out about once every 3 squares. Starting, we'll give this a little bit more space than the diagram gives me. I'm going to start down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 6, so let's bring this down further. 2, 3, 4. There we go. So that's as far down as that would need to come. And then let's load our assembly machine 2s onto our quick bar here. These are being loaded in from the middle. 1. Oh, you know what? Are there actually only 2 spaces in between? They are, so this is much too long. That's okay. It's a lot more compact than I thought. 5, 6. I seem to be 1 short, don't I? Six. Okay. Then these feed, you know what, these are actually fast inserters. We need to make some more of those. We will need several. Automobilism. I'm not opposed to having a car. We've actually kind of spaced our base out well enough. That popped up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think a car will come in handy, particularly on this map, considering how spaced out everything is. We can even maybe make a road alongside our main wall. So we have 2, so we know that we need to come in the 1 space for those. And then we have another row, which we'll need, to fill those out. We just have more, so let's actually borrow that for a moment. We have 1 more here. That loads onto a sideways conveyor belt that then loads onto a vertical one. This vertical conveyor belt comes straight down, which we could have it go up and load onto here. So let's have it go up. I don't see a reason not to do that, aside from how the iron gets loaded on, but we'll actually come up a little bit here. We'll bring it under here. This is the output of our electronic circuits. So for those, we'll go ahead and put a balancer here. We'll get to that in a bit once we're actually done. But we know that we're going to want our output to come over here. I usually like to give those underground belts just a little bit more space. You never know what you have to bring together. Okay. So, the way that the iron plates work is probably the more interesting bit, because they use kind of a tricky underground belt loading system for this. Let's say we know that this is going to offload onto this belt. We're going to need 6 of these from here. We know that we need another arm here. And yeah, I know I can count the space, you know, in my head, but I just want to make sure, just for posterity's sake, I've kind of started the process. Okay, that loads in the correct direction. Now this is the other copper line. That's going to need to come down just as far. That's coming from over here. That's probably going to go underneath. I know that the iron bars are going to need to come in here. And at least one of them is going to need to go underground here. Go ahead and bring those in. One can come all the way over here and then down. So honestly, just kind of do this for the other copper line. A little spaghetti. Everything's getting fed, that's fine. Okay, how do these work? We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, at least 20 underground. Let's go ahead and make a bunch of those. Let's plop in the rest of these while those are being constructed. So we know we want arms at every end here. This particular layout doesn't really give us... We need 3 more actually. This particular layout doesn't give us the reserves, the chest of reserves, but we're feeding a bus. I don't think we need that for any of these main components that go into the bus. We need to be producing more than enough. Alright, we've made 1, 2, so that's the last of those. And now we need to do these underground belts. So actually, let's go ahead and put these on. So we know that we need horizontal belts at the end of each of these arms because they all load to this middle belt. And then, oh, I see, we actually need more arms coming off here, loading in to the electronic circuit producers, because they are the ones that also need the iron. There we go. You know, I almost think that these bottom ones, oops, a little trigger happy there. I think these bottom ones can actually feed from here. No, the undergrounds help keep them separated. Fluid wagons for the train. Okay, this all makes sense in just a moment. Let's go ahead and 2, 1, 2. Good thing they flop back and forth automatically. I think that's good. Same thing here. Great. So now we'll see iron coming all the way down here. We just need to pop in our electric poles. So these can reach almost both sides. We'll need some down the middle. We can do 1, 2, 3. And then we need some middle ones here, which... Oh, they don't reach both sides. Oh well. That looks parallel. Let's bring this guy down, since we already have that long line provider there. And then one here. That's actually good. Oh, then they didn't reach the outside. You know, I made these larger poles for a reason, and we're using a lot of them. No, that's good. Okay. Oh, and then probably the most important part is that we need to tell these what to make. So we know that we need to make copper cabling out here. There's a way to copy. Control click, shift click. Yes, shift right click to copy, shift left click to paste. We need to make electronic circuits in these. Alright, let's see if these go from red to yellow. These don't seem to be able to pull off. Or are they not? Oh, okay, this is turned around. Are all these turned around? This whole side's turned around. No, just those at the bottom. Just gotta look at all of these to make sure everything's moving. All of the copper cables are yellow, which means they're producing. They're only slowed down by their own running into a overproduction, which is great. Okay, let's go ahead and put a balancer in here. Let's place it there. Let's put our undergrounds in first. We need 2 more splitters. Those. Now let's watch the magic happen. And if we ever make another one of these over to this side, if we need to produce more, then we can bring a second line into this other side over here and feed them in. Oh, I'm so happy. Look at that production. That's probably the most efficient thing that we've made, but I did use a guide. That's really awesome. Look at that fill up. Now the other things we haven't really researched yet, or rather, we've researched a lot. The other things we haven't really started to produce or need yet. Plastic, batteries, blue electronic circuits, and red electronic circuits. Those are going to fill these others respectively, 2 lanes each. Nice. So what do we have up here currently being produced? We do have the ammo being produced up here. We can move that down. Let's check on it, by the way. We can move that down and we can turn it into the higher powered ammo. Guns over here. Let's fill up the ammo on the north and west sides. I think we can I just control left click? No, control right click. I think I pulled them all out, did I? No, I put them in. Oh, that's much better. Control left click. Let's run over to the left side. Follow the conveyor belt, you'll run a little bit faster. I don't know, I have long reach on, but I do want to not cheese it too much. Actually visit these places if I'm going to be stocking up the ammo. Nice. We'll hang on to the rest. Double check that filled that up. It did. Okay. Let's start another ammo production. Let's kind of look up here and see what's going on. Same old, same old. Yeesh. Okay. Ammo, red ammo, requires yellow ammo, steel plates, and copper plates. 4 iron plates for the regular ammo, 5 copper plates, piercing rounds. Let's see. What does an optimal factory look like for that? I'm looking at a ginormous one. I don't think we'll make one that big, but we'll make one that could be expanded to that big if we had to. We will need some long-handed inserters for this one because we're going to be using 3 components. Right? Yep, 3 components. Let's say this will be the first thing that we'll make over to the right-hand side. Normally we'd put a balancer in here, but I'm not worried about the... I'm not worried about the ammo being too strangulated. What am I saying? There's never a reason not to use the belt balancer. We already had many of the components already in place. We just need 2 more splitters. What are we missing? Copper plates. Well, we've got plenty right here. Underground. Here to here. Splitter here. Splitter here. 1 more. We should probably make these components off to the side as well. And these need to be rotated. Right? Let's see. No, you go in and then down. And then you don't need to be there. You come out. There you go. So for that, we'll pull off and make ammo. Where do we want to make the ammo? I was thinking about over here to the right, but I'm not sure. You know, just north of the lake. We'll make the ammo right here. We need iron, copper, and steel. The steel can share with the copper. What I mean by that is they can come in on one path because those feed into the final product. Yeah. So let's say that'll be this line here. And the way that'll work is that we split... I think of the best way to do this. We split off here, off of the copper line. It may not be exactly here. We go to the right one, down, and then we feed onto one side. If we do that to an underground belt, then it still only ends up on one side. Perfect. Can we get rid of this one? I think we can. Similarly, we split off of here for the steel, and we just bring that kind of up and around. Okay, so we will put one. It's a little claustrophobic. Let's bring it down one more. There we go. Now we have the steel loading onto one side and the copper onto the other. Both from that one section in the middle there, so we have a very efficient offload of those, and that should be fine to have one saturated belt for at least 5 of these, I believe. But what we want feeding into those is 3, maybe more, assembly machines that are making the regular ammo. Now for those, let's go ahead and grab the iron. We know that we'll need the iron plates. We'll bring that across here. Lab research speed. Maybe I should have picked that one first. I don't know, then we'd probably be out of things to research already. We need underground belts. So we'll come under here, across, and out after splitting off. Before we commit to anything with these bottom ingredients, let's bring this across. We want at least 3 of our assembly machine 2s for production of the regular ammo. The way I'm going to do that is come right off of this to the south. In fact, I'll all the way out here. 1. Oh. They're not very quick. And we'll use the speedy arms as well. We did make some long arm inserters. We know we'll need those. At least what I have in my head, I'll need those. So one arm here. Just above, okay. Come in here, down. Oops. I kind of want you to go down sooner. There you go. So here's what I'm thinking. You are making firearm magazines. All 3 of you are. Electricity for you. Man, those power poles are pretty far off. You can almost reach across. There we go. That's good. So you only need iron plates. And then we have machines down here. Here's what I'm thinking. We offset them if we can. I don't know if the top machines will make the ammo at the right speed. If they don't, we can restructure this a little bit, because here's what I'm thinking. We use the long arm inserters to pull down for each one of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. sure we get electricity here. Almost. And then these offload into chests. Do we want to just do something like what we were doing before, where we just had them feeding into a chest, because we're not going to need them on a conveyor belt just yet. You know what, for this one I'm going to use a steel chest because I feel special. Put the steel chest down here at the end. Wait, nope. Need an arm between each one of these. This seems like a very inefficient way to do it. Probably should just use... Yeah, no. They're not even making... Like, they're not making them fast enough to even offload in that way. I guess those arms would have been fine, but... Let's say the end result comes back to the middle. We can reverse that later if we have to. Oh wow, we actually ran out of belts. Did not see that coming. Do we have... I guess we can have multiple chests down here. Let's actually bring it all the way down though. Say this belt is going to come all the way down here. And then when we get towards the end, we'll stop about right here. We'll have a couple of competing arms that will load into steel chest. How much can be held in a steel chest? That would be a lot of ammo. You know what? Let's just let them do it. Way more than I'll ever need. Well, way more than I will need anytime soon, rather. Let's get back up here. Pull all those off. Now we have 1,600. Oops. Over. We might want to use more than one arm to unload these. How fast do they actually produce? Okay, they get loaded fast enough that they can constantly produce. At least the ones on the end here do. Let's see if we place another arm on these. There we go. How about that? Magnifico. Honestly, we'll probably be fine with just the one. Though I didn't think it'd be able to keep up at first. When we get stack inserters, I'm sure that'll help. We don't have those yet, do we? No. So how fast are we producing? Jumping around. $12 per minute. 1 every 5 seconds. That doesn't seem right. Seems like we're making them a little bit faster than that. Turned out pretty efficient. I don't think this would stack very well, because we have 2 pulling from one factory here. I kind of wonder Since those load, I kind of wonder if I took one arm and moved it over here, if we even need this factory. Can we go 2 to 1? Yeah, they just get backed up. Did we end up needing both arms? Probably not. So they turn red. They turn red for a moment. I'm okay with that though. We don't need extra arms running. We've already made quite a bit. Let's go up here and shut off our other factory. Take the last of that basic ammo and put it in some turrets. And in doing so, we remove 800, okay. In doing so, we remove the last need of having these splitters come off. Filled up our inventory, okay. That means we can't pick this up. We have way too much steel. Like, we picked it up because I figured we would use it, but let me actually offload that. So for steel, I'm just gonna place a crate right here. Before any production, you all go back on the production line. That kind of works. Alright, we're good. Also, later when we have robots, we can keep just one inventory spot for most of our basic tools, and the robots will restock us, which will be super efficient. Do we have enough room for this? We do. Let's clean this up. Iron plates still come down through here, and I'm still okay with not worrying about that, but honestly we could send them to the left and have them paired up, and that would be cleaner. We don't need to clean it though. If we need to send something else through here, then we know that that's an option to move that. Let's go ahead and landfill a bit more of the lake. More space here on this side of the bus. Paint that in. There we go. A little bit more land. Plastics. Start research. Plastic requires coal and petroleum gas. That'll be a good project for next time. I do kind of like how all of the landfill that we filled in the lake with will be kind of a green birthmark. Let me check on some of our resources up here. Because we have a lot of mines currently working on iron, and I made them rich, but they won't last forever. 78k, 110k, 139k. I guess we're still fine. 54k. electricity is still good, yeah. Okay. We could have been chugging more science, but I'm okay with what we've got so far. We've been researching much faster than we could ever improve on, there we go. Much faster than we can ever actually develop most of these. We may go into solar next, because we'll need more electricity, and we don't want to keep producing pollution. We have the option to make solar panels. So I still remember when the batteries were copper tops. What does this look like? Okay, so they're kind of raiding down here now. We just have one gun there. This one can reach. But if they come down further south... Oh, we're good. We're good. We're covered. Turret coverage all along the wall. Nice. So I think I'll end on a nice little screenshot here of what we've accomplished with our bus this evening. It's moving along. We now have quite the flow of resources. Of course, it can all be enhanced. We'll want to clean up this top leg here that's not really used for anything just yet. But yeah, no, it's been great so far, and we'll probably end it there. I will be back on Monday with some more City Skylines. I'm going to maybe do a toss-up on a new game, so it's really going to be dependent on how many views between YouTube and Twitch my City Skylines series gets and this Factorio series. Because I may start alternating with one of the ones that is the least popular, because I want to try out some new games, and I'm really only scheduling some time to stream on 2 nights a week right now with the occasional bonus stream. But we've got some great news today that Dwarf Fortress is coming to Steam with a built-in graphics pack, and as much as I would love to claim to be an old school style game fan, I really love the idea of Dwarf Fortress, but I can't play it with just the text. I need to have some sort of layer of graphics, and I am one of those people. But I would be picking that up on Steam as soon as that's available, and I'd be interested in playing that here on the channel. So let me know what you think. Give me a follow if you want to be notified the next time I'm streaming, and until next time, have a good one.